Good. Yep, Sprinter vans leak. What happens is water comes down the side of the van and it runs into the back of these panels. And there's a known design flaw where water then can seep inside your van. I've seen videos online where people have built out their full van only to have it rain and some of their insulation gets wet and then they've got mold and mildew problems. So we're going to take a closer look at why this happens, how you can fix it, and when you want to do that in your van build process. Let's get started. Okay, so here are the 6 steps to fix these panels so that they don't leak. The first step is just to remove the panels and the plugs. You saw me doing that in the first segment of the video. Next, we're going to clean up the van underneath the panels. We'll fix any rust spots and, of course, paint. Then we're going to clean all the parts. Then we're going to caulk everything and reinstall the panels. At the very end of this video, I'm going to give you a new tip that I just stumbled across as well, and I think it might provide some extra insurance in addition to steps 1 through 5. So I just removed this one, and we do have a little bit of rust there that we're going to take care of. These look actually pretty good. They look clean, they just need to be cleaned. And I got a couple left I'll have to take off, but not too bad. When you pull your boards off, some of the pins will stay in the van and some of them will pop out and you'll see that they're actually down on the siding. That's not a problem. Just go ahead and take them all out. We're going to clean each one individually. We'll clean this, and then we're going to caulk around all these different little holes around each pin, and we're going to seal it. Okay, so here's a look from inside of the van. There's one of the pins, and you can actually see daylight through the pin, so we know it's not a good seal. You can also see the water stains that run down from water that has already seeped into the van. Here's another look at another pin, same scenario. So this is definitely an issue with Sprinter vans, as we can see, and now maybe you have a little bit of a better understanding of what we're trying to fix here. So let's move on to our next steps. Okay, and the next step is actually cleaning the van. That's probably the easiest part of this whole process. Let's get started. Okay, we've cleaned the van, so the next step was to fix the rust spots. I did opt to both fix the spots and I painted over them with white paint. And I had one spot that was pretty bad in particular. That was near the rear bumper. Here's a picture of that, and I actually had to take a small part of the bumper off to fully get to it. And basically what I did was the same thing that I've been doing on the inside of the van. I've ground everything down to bare metal as much as I can, and then I'm treating it with some products. So here's what it looked like after I was able to grind it down to bare metal. Looks pretty good. So for some small areas, I'm using this rust treatment, Permatex, and once you spray it on, it goes on clear, but once it starts to actually solidify, it turns everything black, and that's what it looks like. So we know that it's working. Yay. Okay, let's take a look at our progress. That one's looking pretty good. I've hit it a couple times with this Perma Text rust treatment. I think I've hit that 3 times, but I've got everything cleaned up here. All the parts are out, and I had a few little spots here that I also took care of, you know, but everything's nice and clean, and the other side looks the same. The other side was actually a little bit better. What I'm going to do now is hit these spots. They've had 3 coats. I'm actually just going to paint them white with some final Rust-Oleum cover, and that'll be it. Okay, we're coming down to the finish line. We have done steps 1 through 3. Now we need to actually clean all the parts themselves before we caulk and put them back on. So here we have a picture of all the pins soaking, and the next step is to clean everything else. So once again, let's get started.
Stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the...
Okay, we're really on the home stretch now. We are on step 5, caulking and reinstalling the panels. When I initially pulled the panels out, I took pictures of all the plugs. I wasn't sure if they had to be positioned in a certain manner, so I was just erring on the side of caution. So here's a couple pictures of the plugs while they're still in the van. And here's a picture of the plug fully removed. If you look at the top of this plug, you can see that there's 2 prongs that stick down on either side. You basically have to pinch those together in order to remove the plug from the van. What I did was I slipped a putty knife under one side, pressed one plug in, and then I used a screwdriver on the top to press the other plug in, and then I was able to pull the plug out. Now I know there's special tools for this, but I opted not to buy them, and once I got a rhythm they came out pretty easily. But you also don't want to damage these plugs because you need them to have the right folds and tension in order to hold the panels in when you put them back in. These little clips just snap back in place. I like to get an edge under there and then just push it in. You should hear it click back in. There we go. And it's back in. All right, we've got everything cleaned up. Looks really good, spray painted, sealed, all the rest is fixed, you know, on down the line here. And I've got all my pieces laid out. They're ready to go on. I labeled them because I have CRS, can't remember you know what, so I just wanted to make sure I had the pieces in the right place. And the next thing that I'm going to do now is actually put a little bead of this Ultimate MP weather sealant. It's a professional version. It's got a really wide range of temperature, you know, lows and highs that it can tolerate. And I got white. And what I'm going to do is put a little bead around each one of these and then snap them back in place. So that is what's next. These little pieces slide on, I believe. We picked the hardest one first. Okay. Wow, awesome sauce. That wasn't too bad at all. Yay! Here's a little picture of the afterwards. Look at that nice bead of caulk coming out of all those. Yes. Nice. Good job, Emily. Side panels are all sealed, both sides, and it looks good. And I'm glad that it went so well. It wasn't too bad. Tomorrow the van gets its first wash. It's been sitting under trees and it is a nightmare. Sappy, these trees. So I'm definitely gonna have to park it somewhere else, and I need a garage. Gah! It's got a stick up on the roof. So tomorrow the van gets a car wash. Yay, bye. Wait, don't go yet. We have to talk about tip number 6. I just discovered another video from one of the van builders that I follow, Humble Road. He uses an 80/20 product to put an additional seal across the top of each panel. So I've ordered that product myself. It's 58 cents a foot, and I have a 170 Sprinter van, so it's under 20 bucks to really try to seal the whole van. So since I've gone to all this work, if there's a way that I can get the water to run off the top of those panels and add a little bit of extra insurance, I'm going to do that. Here's Humble Road's video. You could go look at that yourself and see if you want to try that too. So once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and we will see you again soon. Goodbye.